Hey guys, Melina from the Fight Stalker Australia. I'm here with Chelsea Hackett. So we're just going to have a bit of a chat with Chelsea. She just come off a win for the WBC Australian title. It was 61.24 kilos. Yep, cool. So can you just first tell everyone a little bit about that fight? So how you went with your prep leading up to it and the actual fight?
Yeah, so my last fight was 2 weekends ago, and the prep, I had a 7-week prep for that fight. It was awesome. It was probably my best prep I've had. Just physically, mentally, just wanting that belt so bad. I did have like a 1-week holiday in between, which I went on and still like trained my ass off and just relaxed a little bit. And I don't cut weight anymore, so didn't have a weight cut. So yeah, it was a prep that had no stress to it. I could just train as hard as I could and eat as much as I could, and it was great.
And did you make with that whole fighting at your is that your walk around weight, or would it be just I guess your fight fit weight?
It would just be like my fight fit weight. So I sit at about 63 and that fight was 61.24 but like with the training it was so intense that I kept dropping. I'd get to the point where I'd be like, okay, I need to keep eating. And it was all good foods, but just good foods, but a lot of it. So this prep, like, I ate so much more. I was so much more aware of my body and what I needed to fuel it with. Still ate on my in day. It was good.
Yeah, that's cool. And did you do anything different with your training in the lead up to that fight, as far as like what kind of training you were doing?
No, it was the last 2 years I incorporated strength and conditioning in my training. So I guess I'm at the point now where I've been doing it for 2 years that my body is just responding so much quicker to, like, my metabolism's faster. The training is more intense and harder. But it's taken 2 years to build up to that. So like when I started it, I was sitting at like 68, 69 kilos. But now I sit at 63 and a lot stronger, still fitter, and it's good.
Cool. And can you tell us then like a little bit about what you advice you'd like to give to people, the fact that you are fighting at that weight?
Basically, I think for females, our bodies don't work the same as a male body does. So in Muay Thai gyms, it's really kind of popular that everyone cuts weight the same, whether you're male or female, and I definitely think that's wrong and that needs to change. And trainers need to have more of an insight into a female fighter's body. But if you can, like, fight at your walk around weight or close to it, because I can't tell you how much like fitter, stronger, everything I was in that fight, just because of my prep and not having to cut. Like I wasn't tired, I didn't feel dehydrated or like bloated when I was in there. So I bet like my whole 7-week prep was at the weight that I walked in the ring at. Do you know what I mean? So I walk out at 63, I weighed in at 61.24, but when I actually fought I was 63. So I felt awesome.
And I guess it's that extra less stress that you've got having to think about cutting.
Yes, 100%. Like my mental, it's so much, physical, but it's also mental. So if you're always worrying about cutting weight and I can't eat that, I can't eat this, and then being flat at training, I think that takes a lot away from your fight, from the actual fight. So I felt like that was a massive change in this prep. Like I went in there being so aware of my body, do you know what I mean? Not like, oh, I wonder how I'm going to perform because of the weight that I cut. Exactly. Like I knew it'd be a good fight.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about the fight, like how'd it go?
Oh, it was epic. Like every time I talk about it, I smile because it was one of my favourite fights. Victoria's just the toughest girl. She just wouldn't back down, and sometimes I'd hit her and it would be clean. And I'd see her head go back. I'm like, I got her. And then all of a sudden it'd just come forward. And I'm like, no. Like, she was crazy. Like, and a couple of, like, tips I threw. I was like, surely, like, I'd try and, like, capitalise on that and jump on her. But no, she was straight back in me. And it was awesome. She was just really strong and just a tough fighter. It was so much fun.
That's cool. That's exciting. Can you give us let people get a bit of history about you as well? So when did you very first start training Muay Thai, and when was your first fight?
So I started Muay Thai when I was 12. Stepped into Boonchi Gym, saw a couple of girls training, And just instantly was like, yeah, I want to try that. Like, I just want to see how I go, because I came from Taekwondo.
Right.
So I started Taekwondo when I was 8. Got my black belt, and then went to Muay Thai. So I had my first fight 6 months after I trained at Boonchu. So Angie just came up to me and was like, oh, do you want to fight? And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I just turned 13. So yeah, I was 13 when I had my first fight.
And how did you feel, being 13 and going into your first fight?
It was, I think at the start, like, I wasn't that pumped to do it. Like, I was so nervous. I was like, oh, like, God.
Why am I doing this?
Like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, why? But as soon as I came out of there, I just looked at my mum, because I remember my mum was like, so did you like it? And I was like, loved it. Like, I just wanted to get straight back in there. It was awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And so what about, so 13 was your first fight. How many fights did you then rack up, I guess? Were you fighting constantly every year, or?
I think so. So 13, I had 11 fights under Boonchu. So, yeah, 11 fights, and I left when I was 16. So, yeah, 11 fights, about 3 years. And then I went under Southern Stars Muay Thai. And I had 4 fights under them. And then ever since, I've been with White Force.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. And how many fights are you at now?
22.
22? And what's your...
15 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool. And what's your goals for your future? Like, where do you want to see yourself?
At the moment, I want to go for a world title. Like, I feel like I've got the 3 Aussie titles, so WKBF, WMC, WBC. So next step for me is the WBC International. And then I'd love to just go world. I think just if I can do it at my age, like, and just go for it.
How old are you now?
19.
19, cool. That's so young to already be at that level, hey?
I think I want to defend my Australian titles. So the rest of the year, whatever fight comes up, I'll defend my WBC and WMC. So yeah, I think I'll have another rematch with Victoria, because at the end of it, before the fight, I heard about a rematch happening before we even fought, and then after I was like, I'll rematch you.
So
like,
when's that one?
It's not locked in yet. Probably December or next year, they've said. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Cool. That's awesome. So what do you think for yourself? What gives you that drive to, and I guess you sort of, how do you get yourself into that mindset to be going in there, beating all the top fighters in Australia, and just being able to reach that ultimate goal?
I think having belief in yourself, like knowing that you can do that, and you've trained for that, and backing yourself. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who says like, oh, you can do it, like it doesn't matter who's behind you, like that's great and everything, but if you can't back yourself into a fight, to me, you've already lost it a little bit. So I've had so many fights where I am in doubt, like I've walked in like doubting myself and already saying that they're better. And I've learned so much from those experiences, especially fighting at the Worlds as well. They're by far my best, my favourite memories of where I was at that stage in like my career in fighting, and definitely think I've grown from there. So
and do you think also, especially with the Worlds, it kind of makes you realise it doesn't matter about somebody's record, because when you go to the Worlds, a lot of people might not realise the people you're fighting from other countries may have had 50 fights, 20 fights, whatever, and you might go in there with 5 fights or 10 fights, but because they do a lot of tournament style, but us Aussies are tough, we get in there.
Exactly, 100%. Like the last World Games I went to in 2015, I remember sitting waiting for my next fight, and the 2 girls in my division were fighting before me, and I was fighting a Thai after them, and it was Turkey versus the Netherlands, and the Dutch girl just like did this massive flying knee and like knocked her out cold, and like I was fighting next and she was in my division, and I remember sitting there going, oh my, like I could really just not win this fight and not have to fight her. Like, but then I just, I got this drive. I was like, no, I can do this. Like, I'm here. Like, I want to win gold medal. So I beat the Thai and then had to back it up the next day to fight the girl. And that was, I'll never forget that. Like, I remember getting in the ring and we were sealing the ring and she was like laughing at me like
Oh,
from
really?
her corner. Like I think she was completely trying to intimidate me.
Yeah, right.
But she was smiling, like leaning on the ropes, like real chilled, and I was like, oh my God. I was very intimidated.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as we touched gloves and went back, I was like, no, I got this. Like I can do this. But then, she punched me in the face. I was like, whoa, that's the hardest I've ever been punched in the face. And then I was like, no, I got to hit her now. So that was massive for me because I won that fight, won the gold medal. Yeah, and then after the fight, her trainer came up and said, oh, like, that was her toughest fight. She's had 70 fights. And I almost died. I was like, that was like my 14th fight.
She's only had, cool 70.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. So, no.
Do you feel like that gave you, I guess, more self-confidence too?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That gave me, like, kick up the arse. Like, I can really do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from there I came home and just gave every fight everything I had. Yeah. Every prep.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have seen in the industry that you would like to see done better, or something that you've even seen that you love the way it's done?
Probably the weight cutting thing. I think males as well as females, obviously, we all need a different approach to it. And I think there needs to, I don't really know what like the end result should be, but just educating, if I can educate even just females in like how it should be done, and how you can perform so much better without it, and that you don't need to cut weight, like no one needs to cut weight. If you can sit at a healthy weight and be strong and fit and win it that way. Like that was the other thing. It was one thing fighting at my walk around weight, but I had to know that I could beat them. Do you know what I mean? I had to know that they weren't stronger than me or bigger than me. So I'm a short person. So that's why 2 years ago, like I started with my strength and conditioning coach, because I knew that if I wanted to grow in the sport, I needed to become stronger. And he just educated me in all of that side of thing, like the nutrition side of thing. And it's just been a massive turnaround. And so being able to win at my walk around weight is a really, it just feels like you can do it.
Yeah, cool.
So
as well as obviously you're busy fight prepping, what else do you do outside of the fight prep?
Yeah, so I'm a full-time trainer. So I'm a group fitness instructor and personal trainer. So I run Hammer Fit, that's my business, and I run it out of Wise Force as well. So I coach a few PTs in Muay Thai. Don't have anyone that's like fighting just yet, because they're like the Wise Force side of things. But I have Hammer Fit's basically like my group fitness classes. So I run them morning and night, basically every day. I love it. It's like, it's definitely my passion. I didn't finish school, so I left at the end of grade 11. And
did you do that because of fighting?
No, because of like getting my qualifications, because I knew I wanted to be a trainer. So basically at the end of grade 11, I like sat down with my parents and said like, I think this is what I want to do. We already had the gym, so I was lucky in that sense. And they were so for it, like really supportive.
That's cool.
So as soon as I left school, I went and did my certs at HPC. And basically got my first job at a gym, just like receptionist and doing a few classes while I finished studying, and then started Hammer Fit 2 years ago. So I was 17 when I started Hammer Fit. Yeah, that's cool. And it's gone so good. Like it's really successful and it's growing every time. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Where do you want to take it? Like what's?
I want to have my own gym. So I want Hammer Fit to be its own gym, like fully equipped the way I want it. I want to be able to like put more classes on and take like a back step and maybe get some trainers in and train them up. And because being like a full-time trainer and fighting professionally is quite tough. So like I only really have maybe 3 or 4 fights a year now, just because of that. It mentally takes a toll, getting up at like 4:30 in the morning and teaching and then training myself and then keep teaching and just being in a gym all the time. It's like, oh God.
Just have your bed set up there.
I know, right? I basically should live there, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It's the best job. So
that's cool. And so is there anything you've got coming up that's already booked in or locked in at the moment, or other than Victoria?
Yeah, not at the moment. I'm hoping my next fight would be in June sometime. Not sure on an opponent yet. I think at the stage now it's like, it's not busy with fights because I'm at the stage where it's going to be a title defence, or do you know what I mean? It's not just going to be a fight. So,
is there anyone that you're wanting to fight that you haven't fought yet?
Carly Gangle.
Yep.
I'll just say it out now. I'd love to fight Carly.
Yeah, cool.
We've been matched a couple of times and it hasn't happened. So, yeah, when she's ready, I'm ready.
Yep, cool. And what about overseas opponents? Is there anyone that you know that you want to fight?
I had... There's a WBC world title holder at the moment that's in my division, and I've watched a couple of her fights, but she's on the big stage, and I'd love to get there. I think in the next year.
What country is she from?
I think she's America.
Yep.
So she fights on Lion Fight and all that to defend a WBC title. I think she's defended it 7 times.
Oh wow.
But I've watched her fight and I'm like, I can do that.
That's your goal there. Yeah, cool.
For sure. She's a bit taller than me, but
isn't everyone? Everyone's always taller than us.
I know. When I fought Victoria, I was like, yes, she's my height. I was like, this is the perfect matchup.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So, is there anything you want to tell anyone else or thank anyone?
I'd just like to thank everyone that supported me from the start. I've just had so much support, and I hope you can continue supporting me on my journey.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Marina.